Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Referrals Podcast, but this one's special. Not just because we have a special guest. We always have special guests. We have a super special guest this time. But we are doing the top 10 hot referral tips of top producers, a taste of referral mastery during the next 10 days. So today, we are going to talk to a top producer, and they're going to tell us about how they got their last referral, what strategy they utilized, the power of that strategy, and then how you, too, can use that strategy to get a referral today. So 10 days in a row of this, we're going to break it down for you all the way to the last element. And I'm very excited about this. Yeah, that's right. It's a daily dose of positivity and productivity. It's the top 10 hot referral tips of top producers coming to you every single day for 10 days. And then RMS starts. It's RMS, September 29th, September 30th, October 1st. By the way, you can attend rms21.com from anywhere now. RMS has gone virtual. You can go to rms21.com. Use the code PODCAST, PODCAST, and you get $400 off the registration price. Are you kidding me? That's right, because you listen to the Referrals Podcast. We want people like you to attend, and we want you to get referrals. So this is Referrals Podcast. Real people, real stories, real referrals, and we're going to get right into that today. I got to get a big shout out to the Gen Facebook group. If you're not a member of Gen, go to joingengen.com right now, joingengen.com. You can join gengen.com today for free, absolutely free. Join our referral network and get referrals from all these great people. The shout out is from Dave today, and it said, just wanted to thank you for the great webinar today on the Great Retrace. What? I just got off the phone with past client who referred me years ago. That referral just listed and sold again, and they referred me to their parents without me even asking them. I called to thank the source of that business. I also asked for help in making a Facebook post for the new listing, which is straight out of my Great Retrace training. She was so happy to help me. I would have never thought to make that call. I have sent cards and gifts, but this was so much better. Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate that. So thank you, and thank you for implementing, because that's what it's all about. Speaking of implementers, we got to bring on someone who is not a stranger to Referrals Podcast. He's been on a couple of times before, and quite honestly, we should probably have him on monthly or even weekly. This guy is producing so many referrals and so much good stuff. We have Neal Smith here today. Neal is a longtime Sacramento, California resident. He obtained a real estate finance degree from Long Beach State. He has developed a successful mortgage practice where he prides himself on providing a unique lending experience for his clients by putting together a highly motivated and dedicated team. His business is 100% referral due to the strong relationships he has developed and maintained with both his clients and his business partners like financial planners, CPAs, and realtors. Neal is a confident leader, consistently rated as a favorite speaker for his high energy, passionate delivery, and value-driven approach to sales and service. He's got over 29 years of mortgage experience. He's a firm believer in finding happiness in all he does while achieving his financial goals with integrity. He is a founding member of CRT, Certified Referral Trainer Master Series, and he's a faculty member for our CRT Mastery Academy. He is also a 30 Mornings coach. He is passionate about helping professionals looking to improve their business. And by implementing the strategies of 7L, Neal has found a rewarding way to do business that gets great results. Awesome. Neal, welcome to Referrals Podcast.
Michael, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to being on this and helping more people. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I always appreciate talking to you. I probably talk to you as much as anybody, any of my friends or family members, just because we have so much in common with sons named Max who both play sports, and
Yeah.
we both love sports, and we both love lots of the same things. I think, today you're going to go into like, top mortgage producer mode, right? This is the top 10, hot referral tips of top producers. We want to give one today. So a lot of times when we go into this, let's talk about the last referral you got. And I love that whole concept because in my coaching, I always liked people are like, well, I need another referral or I want another referral. I go, all right, where'd you get your last referral from? Because in many cases, where you got your last referral is going to lead to your next referral. Either what you were doing during the time to get the referral or the person who gave you the last referral. A lot of times there's momentum and recency with that. So a lot of times you'll get your next referral from the last person who referred you. So, all right. So tell me about your last referral.
Last referral's name is Joe. Joe referred by Veronica, and we're in the process. Just Joe this weekend said, "Yep, let's go for it." I do a thing called a total cost analysis. Gave him what his options are. He was working with another lender that was putting him in a bad product. I called. You're gonna laugh because you just talked about it. I called on a retrace.
So all right. So your favorite strategy is the retrace and the Great Retrace. And
yeah.
I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite strategies as well. It helped me grow not only my real estate practice, but the author, the speaking, the training, all the other stuff we do. Our Great Retrace spreadsheet really drives a lot of my phone calls and contacts every day. So, all right. So for those that maybe are newer to this, what is the Great Retrace, or try to explain like how that works?
Well, I can never do it as good as you, but the basic premise is who referred you, and then who referred that person, and then who referred the next person, and so on and so forth. Almost like a family tree, or if you multi-level marketing downline, if you want to call it, or upline, or what have you. And the thing that you taught me, and I've been in the referral business for a long, long time, but I never ever clicked to me to not just thank the person that referred me, but that person that referred that person.
That's right.
And so on and so forth. That has done such an amazing thing for my business because one, I've been in the business 29 years, like you said, and I sometimes am not great about calling my database. Just being honest.
Wow. Okay. Raise your hand in the world right now if you are listening to this podcast and you're walking, or you are watching this on YouTube. Raise your hand if you've ever maybe struggled with a moment on calling your database, right? And
yeah, right.
Everybody's got their hand up.
We've all been there, right? And so for me, it gives me an excuse. I've said this before on the podcast. Gives me an excuse to call these people and just say thank you. I don't have to worry about the Starbucks gift cards, of this gift, of that gift. You totally threw me out that whole thing. I used to do it until I met you, Michael, and you totally threw that whole system out. And it's just going and thanking people. And the coolest part is when you're 3 or 4 people deep and you're thanking them, and they're like, "What?" And as you know, there's a lot of ways to play around it, and it's just so much fun and so many layers of things that you can do. But in this basic instance, I was referred to Joe by Marissa, okay, and excuse me, yeah,
by Veronica.
Veronica, and this is where it gets a little confusing. Veronica had referred Marissa, who referred Max. So I was calling Veronica to say, "Hey, Veronica, I wanted to say thank you so much for referring Max." Who's Max, right? Not your nice son, Max, but actually another Max out there. Yeah. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, Max." She goes, "Oh, I helped Max buy his house, by the way." And just coincidentally, she goes, "And it's funny is I was getting ready to call you because I have a client, Joe, who's getting some weird mortgage advice, and I really want you to talk to him. I'm going to head over there right now." Well, I got a call from Joe like 30 minutes afterwards. We're proceeding and we're going to be refinancing Joe.
This literally just happened.
Yeah, like Friday.
Yeah. So it's one of those where, all right. So, and this is this is above and beyond even some of the things that I get a chance to teach at Great Retrace, because, I've taught Great Retrace 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, hour, 3 hours, and I could probably teach it for 3 days, the power of it. And one of the things that I didn't get to even do in the one that I did for your large group was I didn't get a chance to say, like, all right, you're calling through the Great Retrace. And the Great Retrace is, all right, the referral. And then you have the referral source who referred the referral. And then you're like, all right, who introduced, connected, or referred me to that referral source? And you think of that person. And then you're like, all right, who referred me to that person? And you're connected or introduced, or who's the reason for that person? And you do that for as far back as you can go. And the record that I've seen is Sally Bachero, by the way, who I think you might have heard of her or know her. She's out of Tennessee.
I've met her. Yeah.
Top lender, 22 people deep. We actually did a Great Retrace, 22 people deep. And that's even longer than any of the ones I had. So it was, but it's interesting is people, sometimes they don't ask this, but subliminally or subconscious, they want to know is who is the person who is most likely to refer you in the Great Retrace. It is the second spot. It's the referral source who just referred you somebody else who is most likely to refer you to somebody else. So it's interesting that in this case, there's, there you go, empirical data of you're making those phone calls and it happened immediately. It doesn't always happen like that. So what did you say to Veronica? You were actually calling her to thank her for Marissa, yes?
To thank her for that Marissa referred Max.
Okay.
And so
she's 3 up. She was actually 3 up. Well, so it was Max, Marissa,
Veronica. And okay. So I called her and just said, hey, I want to let you know, thank you for Max, yada, yada. Oh my God, I helped Max buy his house at the same time Marissa did. And so all of that came out. And then she goes, it's so funny. It's just top of mind. She said, hey, I have this other person. So it was super cool. And, it's just I just love it because you're going back and talking to people about something in a thankful spot, right? And you're just saying thank you, and then you're also getting top of mind with them again. Mm-hmm. And especially when you go to the 4 and the 5s and the 6s,
that's right.
You're getting re-engaged, and a lot of times you might not get an immediate referral from one of those people.
That's right.
But now you're back on their radar, and they've already referred you before. And if they've never seen you do this system, I promise you, they're going to be blown away. Promise you.
So let's go through it. Right. So, one of the things I was going to ask you is why do you think this strategy is so powerful? I think you just answered it because it's based in appreciation. It's what's the reason for the call? It's business and referrals. So it's a business call, but it might be the best business call of all time because it's laced in so much appreciation, and you are genuinely appreciative, and maybe it was just the strategy that created this awareness of how appreciative we really should be for the people we have in our life now. We're usually introduced, connected, and referred to us by people that we've had in our life in the past. So you called Marissa.
No,
right?
Veronica.
Who was so it was Veronica, Marissa, Max.
Yep.
No?
Yeah, that's
right?
Correct.
All right. So you called Max and he's your client and you refied him. Yes?
No, Max, we're actually putting on a plan. We have to do some stuff. I actually put in a whole credit fix thing.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a whole nother deal that it's going to be 6 months down the road for Max.
Okay.
So I kept Marissa to understand what's happening, and she totally is good with it and just very thankful and appreciative that I was able to do that for her.
And I love that because you have the ability to give updates while also retaining confidentiality and keeping private things private. And I love that. And so you give Marissa the update and just say, hey, listen, we're working and they're kind of exploring their options, and it may be 6 months, but I really wanted to say thank you for, sending Max our way. Right.
Absolutely.
And then you called Marissa, you called Veronica. So tell us how that conversation went. Like if I was Veronica, what would you say during that call?
I was like, hey, Veronica, Neal Smith here. How are you?
Good. Doing good. Yeah.
And I just said, I just want to say thank you. I didn't do the play on it. I just want to say thank you so much. I have a new client introduced to me. His name is Max, and I'm helping on stuff. And it was referred by Marissa, who you referred. And thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you because I would not have been in front of Max if it wasn't for you. And she's like, oh my God, Max. She's like, really? I helped him buy his house. And so it kind of brought that connection back. And so it was just one of those things to come back. And and you can also do a whole play of, you might want to call Max and just touch base with them. It's so cool you're working with Neal. You could do that. I actually didn't do that and probably should have. But I was just because we went on a whole nother tangent, is I had referred her also to an event that I did, that you did about the Great Retrace. And so she happened to be at that event. So we started talking a little bit about that, because it was kind of cool to be able to talk to her about that part of it. And then she goes, oh my God, I just got a call and I was thinking about you anyways, because I have a guy who's looking to refi and he's getting screwed by another lender. And so she goes, I think, and sure enough, the guy was being put in FHA loan, which he didn't have to, which is really, really unfortunate for the situation. And so, yeah, I'm helping with those clients right now. So,
and I love that. And here's what's so funny is Veronica is going to RMS, by the way. Did she win that? Was she the one that won it at the event?
She won it, but she
was the second person and she had to drop off. That's who that was, right?
She wasn't present to win. I'm like, Veronica, are you there? Veronica, are you there?
Oh,
Veronica,
man.
Are you sure, Veronica, you're not there? And I think she just had not paid attention.
It's
so it's
funny.
Okay.
It's such a small world, right? Such a small world that we're all talking about the same Veronica. So the cool thing here is that you were given updates throughout the process, and I'm hoping that you're calling whoever connected you to Veronica next, right?
Well, yeah, it's an agent that I work with as well. That's a great agent. So
I love it. And then so Veronica sends you over to this gentleman who needs some help, and you're going to get a refi out of it. And one thing I do want to note here is that, you're really not going to get business from Max for 6 months. And I think in the business world, a lot of people would have discounted Max, and they would have discounted the appreciation to the people who connected them to Max. They would have kicked them to the curb, right? That's the old adage, is that, if some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting, and kick them to the curb, right? And it's like, no, I think we need to care about the person who's in front of us, and as much as we can without it being business debilitating. And then, but the thing is you went ahead and appreciated the people who were responsible for that referral.
Yep.
And it turned into another referral.
Correct.
Listen, that is so key. Like, that is a difference maker type of strategy. That is a difference maker type of implementation, right? That you deserve that business more than anybody in the world. And here you are, and you're saving them from the wolves of Wall Street. You're saving them from ended up probably cost them tens of thousands of dollars that they didn't need to pay over the next 30 years. So I just love that. Do you think anybody can implement the Great Retrace?
I think it's so simple, and you don't overthink it. Yes. And what I would do, I would just go backwards on the last closings that you have, and just start going and put some time in your schedule. Obviously, I like time blocking. Put some time in your schedule in this, and just start going back. You can go back. When I first heard about this through you about 5-6 years ago, I did it. And it was crazy, the re-engagement. When you first get back to it, it's nuts. And like one of my friends, I was closing 2 transactions the same month, and was telling him that, and he's like, no way, how is that? And I go, because of this, and he was like, oh, that's so cool. And that guy coincidentally hadn't referred me somebody in a while, and referred me 3 transactions that year. And so this, to me, you should have written a whole book on this whole thing, because oh my God,
there's another referral right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
like you got your phone's ringing. It's probably somebody from the energy you gave out with the Great Retrace. You're right. It is another voluminous book that I could come out with.
But the great part about it is it's so powerful, and it's only a couple sentences in your book. And
yeah.
It to me, I've really glammed onto it. It's really simple, and that's the stuff with you, Michael, is that you take stuff that's so complex and you really put a lot of thought into it, and just adding the simplicity around it so that you can go out and do it and don't be intimidated by it. You don't have to have like a crazy awesome database to do this, right? You can use a piece of paper if you wanted to, and you just have to remember. And probably, like a lot of people in the business, you remember who referred each person most of the time.
That's right. Yeah, that's literally hereditary. Is we remember who connected us, introduced, or referred us to another human being, if we'll just sit and get quiet, or somebody will ask, how did you meet, or how did you, if we think about it long enough, we will find that. Because way back 10,000 BC or whatever it was, we would have to remember who connected us to the water hole, or to something that saved us, or to a cave that was safe, So it was one of those where people are important. We know that. And connections are important. So we tend, in our brain is just a big giant network of connections. So it remembers connections, and it works this way. It's geared to work this way. So I love that. And so, question I haven't, what did this strategy cost you?
Nothing, but yeah. I will say, and this is a teaser because I'm going to be talking about this at RMA, is that I did have a Top Yap event, which is an event virtually cooking class that Rich had said, oh my God, I have a person that I know that does these events with clients and has been struggling with this whole thing because she doesn't know how to do it virtually. Can you share this strategy with her? And that was Veronica. And so because I was doing this event, I got referred to Veronica. So it's a whole thing about, it's like 1 and 1 equals 3. Yeah. I was doing an event, and then with the retracing of the whole thing, it was great. Now the event was a little expensive. I had a chef cooking virtually, about 23 people, had wine, we had a charity involved, all of that stuff. But it was a super cool event, and I still have clients. We had it 4 months ago, and still have clients talking about it.
So the Great Retrace really cost you nothing, right? And the earnings have been in the tens of thousands of dollars. And the other thing is, like, the pile-on strategy, or the thing that you're going to be doing a breakout at RMS, is this virtual event where it's a chef, and it's almost like a cooking show with interactivity and engagement. It's like if a cooking show was real, this is what it would be like. And I absolutely love that. I don't want to talk any more about it because they got to sign up for RMS to see what you've done with that. It's going to blow their mind. They're going to love it. They're going to go shake their head at how easy it is and why they haven't been doing it before. That's RMS. And if people want to get signed up for that right now, you can go to rms21.com, use the code podcast. You'll get $400 off. You'll be able to see more of Neal Smith. And we have 100 other referral generating ideas and strategies that are in the content of RMS. I can't wait for it. It's going to blow people away. Today was really about one quick referral tip that people could implement. Today, it's about the Great Retrace. I love this strategy. I love how Neal has implemented it and is still learning a lot about it and even taking it to the next level. Neal, I appreciate you so much for being our guest here today on the Referrals podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate you as always.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, day one of the top 10 hot referral tips of top producers. It's a taste, a little bite size of Referral Mastery Summit, what we're going to cover at Referral Mastery Summit 2021. Go to rms21.com to register right now. Limited seating, limited spacing, and use the code podcast to attend for $400 off the registration price. We'll see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow on the next episode of Referrals Podcast.